Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation. Here we go. Election Eve. I can promise you this, we will be with you every step of the way of this election process. I know many are giving you takes on what they think is going to happen. I have no clue. I've spoken to pollsters, ground workers for both teams, and they are definitely spinning. I don't know if they're trying to convince themselves of what they're saying or convince me, but both sides are saying something interesting, which is that they're seeing vote changes as they're going door to door in the swing states. Now, that doesn't surprise me for two reasons. There are a lot of people who are confused by all the crazy in this election and not sure what is more tolerable. There's also a tendency for these folks to say what they have to say to get rid of the person at the door, in my experience. So here's what I know and what I'm focused on. First, and I actually mean this most of all, don't worry. Anxiety or fear of the unknown is useless. Other than regret, it is the least useful disposition or emotion. It changes nothing for you. Whatever happens in the next few days, let it come, and we will handle it. Now, I believe in that because I believe in us. You know, even if you want to beat me over the head with January 6th, Trump, for all he said, for all he tried, for all he did, for all the people around him said and tried and did, he was gone when it came time to inaugurate the winner. Now, I happen to believe when it comes to perfidy, your first chance is your best chance to do me dirty. Now, some will say, no, he learned from that, it'll be different. I don't see it. But I get that it's scary. But I hope you understand that it's frightening by design. I've been doing this a long time, okay? I've never seen a campaign less about the positive and more about inducing panic than this one. Yeah, it's been a sliding scale as the two parties are constantly finding convenience in the extreme, and social media makes it easy to magnify minorities. And I think we're all co-opted by the few instead of the many. But really, let's be honest, this election has been little more than an extension of Halloween. It's all pretend panic and phantom phobias. Who can scare you the most about the other? Now, I have said that my analysis of this election is that the dominant dynamic has been grievance. Grocery prices, gas prices, cultural upset, the economic and cultural status quo. Now, that suggests that the incumbent could be in trouble because it's on their watch. Now, usually the incumbent has the advantage, right? Of the 45 or whatever presidents we've had, we've only had 10, including Trump, who didn't get a second term. It's rare. So a grievance dynamic could make it Trump's race to lose. So why don't I say, well, then I think he should win? Because it's him. And Donald Trump has the ability to loom larger and more scary than any price tag or perceived problem. It reminds me of the analysis in 2016. Now, I was earlier to the Trump reality than many in my business. The rallies were very impressive to me. I had forgotten what his celebrity meant everywhere else in the country than in New York. If it weren't Clinton, Trump likely would have lost in 2016, too, because of how many people had to justify voting for someone who was saying and doing what they would likely never echo in their own lives. It feels like that now as well. If Harris were facing Haley or Christie or Governor DeSantis, I think more of her people would be susceptible to peeling off. But Trump is so divisive, so objectionable. And no, it's not because the media goes after him all the time. It's his own mouth. He could lose this by losing more center-right people than Harris loses center-left people. I suspect the story of who wins is going to be a battle of attrition. Which side holds together more in this desperate dive to the bottom of who and what is worse? Personally, I know who matters. Who wins matters to all of you. It doesn't matter to me as much. And you don't have to care about that. I know you're going to all beat me up on it That's okay too, all right? I don't form my opinions based on how you feel about them. Maybe I should, but I don't, okay? Personally, it's not tomorrow or even the next day that has my attention. It's what follows that. It seems fairly likely I'm not going to tell you who won tomorrow night. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia have all signaled that their rules on vetting ballots are going to slow things down. Counting will take them time. I'm okay with that. They've suggested it could take into Wednesday, even late Wednesday, especially if it's close, specifically in Georgia. So we got to wait. But time is the enemy as well. Beware fakery. Social media is a cesspool of unsubstantiated estimates and intrigue. Personally, I will not report or promote any allegations of election problems that do not come with direct witnesses or verifiable proof of the same, at least not until adjudicated by the courts. If you can't give me the person who saw it or did it or video that we can authenticate, I'm going to wait until the courts because there's just way too much BS. Now, hopefully, this election is decisive in a way that is beyond dispute, though with Trump, you never know. And even then, I'm still not as concerned about the who as the how. My biggest concern is what happens after we know who it is and how staunch, how toxic the refusal to work with whomever wins will be. Why? It's over. We're supposed to come together. That's not what they're selling. They're selling that the other side is not different, is not wrong, it's evil. And that makes it very easy for them to adopt opposition as somehow a virtuous position. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.